Hi, my name is Kenneth Weber, and on yesterday I had the privilege of sitting down and watching our president address an issue that's near to dear to his heart, and gave a very emotional speech concerning that issue, concerning gun control. And as I listened to him address the problem, a question kept coming to mind, and the question was why? Why do we, a highly civilized nation as we are, find ourselves in a situation that we're in? Why are we facing a problem where we see violence as such a major issue inside of our nation? Do people today want to go in schools and just kill innocent young children? Why in low-income communities do we see young men killing one another? Why? Why are we facing the problems that we're facing? Why do we see our law enforcement officers gunning down people with no sense of concern or love for humanity? Why are we facing this problem? Before I would seek to say to you what I think, I want to get you that would view this video into a subjective mind of thinking. I want to get you in a position to be able to relate to what I want to say. In order to do that, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm a minister. I'm not a pastor, but in this situation I want to present to you, I want to present myself as a pastor of a large congregation. And as the pastor of this congregation, one of my greatest desires is to build a strong sense of family. And in order to do that, I've ministered to the men that how important that it is that they remain faithful to their wives and provide an example that their sons could follow after, a strong commitment to their wives and to family. But because of the fact that I have such a large congregation, inside of my congregation there are many single women, single mothers. And in an effort to address the issues and the concerns and the warfare that these young ladies struggle with, I made an exception to the law that I preach and to the word and the principles that I want these men to apply to their life. And this is the exception that I made, that myself and my ministering staff was able to enter into a relationship with these women to provide a sense of covering, a sense of relationship for them, to keep them from going outside into society and getting men that mean them no good, men that would abuse them. So in an effort to solve the problem that these women were facing, I made this exception that myself and my ministering staff were able to enter in sexual relationships with these women and to provide covering for them. And as this exception became a part of our congregation, and in time, I found myself facing a problem. I found myself dealing with a strong sense of infidelity in the church. I found myself with men beginning to run around on their wives. I found myself with the young men in the church entering into fornication at young ages, and I began to question why. Why am I facing this problem? Because, I teach the Bible. I teach that you shall not commit adultery. I teach that you should be committed to your family. And I teach these principles to these men, but yet I find that myself dealing with this situation. And I would want to come to you and I would want to ask you, why? Why do you think that I'm dealing with the problem that I'm dealing with in my congregation? I can hear some of the words you use. You hypocrite. Maybe if you live by the principle that you teach to your men, then maybe they will get it. Maybe if you led by example, then maybe they will get it. Maybe if you didn't consider yourself to be and these leaders above the law that you preach, then maybe they will get it. And to all of what you have just thought and said, I say yea and amen. I say that that truly is a fact. Maybe if I didn't think myself to be above the law that I preach, then maybe the people would believe the message that I preach. Maybe. Maybe there is no way to solve a problem by changing and adjusting the principles by which I live. Maybe that is not a solution. Well, while we're in that same mindset, while you're thinking subjectively, let's ask the question again. Why do we as a society, a civilized society, a leader in the world, find ourselves dealing with such a problem of violence? Why do we find ourselves so infatuated by violence? Why do so many TV shows, as you turn on a TV, you cannot turn on from station to station without finding some program promoting violence, promoting different ways and innovative ways to kill and to take other people's lives? Why do we find ourselves in this situation? Well, now let me present my thinking concerning this. Years ago, we changed our laws. Years ago, like me, we had a problem in America to which we wanted to find a solution to address a segment of society. And we found a way to address the problem. But in addressing the problem and applying the solution that we applied, we had to change the laws by which we lived. You see, I did research and I found out that 38 states in their laws state that life begins at conception, and that anyone by accident or on purpose takes the life of a child while it's in the fetus form inside the womb of his mother is punishable for a crime by law. There are people sitting in jail today because they ended the life of a child while it was in the womb of its mother. But however, the exception to this law is that we've given a woman the right to state that she was not having sex for the intent of reproduction. She was having sex for the purpose of pleasure. You see, we wanted, years ago, we wanted to make it equal. Men were able to go around and have sex for fun during the beginning of the sexual revolution, during the hippie age, during this great drug movement and change in society and in the way that we think men could run around and have as many women as they wanted to. But the woman had to be concerned with whether or not I would conceive. So in order to make the woman be able to experience the same freedom and liberty in having sex for fun, we adjusted our law. And we said, if you don't want the child that you conceive, we give you permission to kill it. And this law has stood for over 40 years now. And we've come to the point now that we not only kill it, but we handle that body of that child like we handle cattle and pig. We kill it, we slaughter it, and then we take the parts of that baby and we sell it on the market and make millions of dollars off of the parts of it. And we ask ourselves, why? Why do we find ourselves in the place where we are today? Why? Maybe it's because that we've taken the absolute value of a life and we've made it subjective. Maybe, like into my congregation, the people followed my example instead of my message. Maybe they looked at my lifestyle and the things that I said instead of the message that I preached. Maybe the people of America saying that the value of life is subjective. Maybe we've lost the true value of life. Maybe we have to turn back. Maybe we have to revisit this exception that we've made in society. Maybe we have to go back and assign an absolute value to life. Then maybe our people, our children will begin to embrace once again that life has an absolute value. That you can't just say that, a woman don't have the right to just say that I want to kill the baby, and so therefore the Supreme Court of the United States, the President, the Congress of the United States stand behind her and give her full permission to change the value of that life. Maybe we can't have it both ways. No more than I could have it both ways in my congregation. Maybe I couldn't build a strong family environment by violating the very principle by which I tried to get the people to live. Maybe. I want you to think about this. I want you to look back from where we came, and I want you to look forward and ask yourself, where are we going? What does tomorrow look like for your children, for your grandchildren? What will they be facing in society if we don't stand up, if we don't have the wherewithal to reevaluate our action? What are we leaving for our children? This is just a thought for you to think about. For now, I'm Kenneth Weber, and this is The Voice of Reason.